This summer, you can walk on the very roads of Eucharistic revival. The pilgrimage starts on May 19th, Pentecost Sunday, when Eucharistic processions will depart from 4 U.S. corners. In the north from Minnesota near the headwaters of the Mississippi River, in the east from New Haven, Connecticut, in the south from Brownsville, Texas near the U.S.-Mexico border, and in the west from San Francisco.
Northeast, south and west to converge on Indianapolis for the Congress in July of this year.
The 4-part pilgrimage will continue for 2 months. The public invited to participate at any point along the way and encounter Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, with all roads leading to the National Eucharistic Congress this summer in Indianapolis on July 17th through 21st. Will Peterson oversees logistics. He says even the overall shape of the routes has significance.
It also helps form a cross over the top of the map of the country, and with the idea of doing Eucharistic procession along each route. In a lot of ways, Christ himself is sanctifying the land as we move through and bring people to the Congress to celebrate.
All routes combined, the Eucharistic Lord will cross into 27 states and 67 Catholic dioceses. Processions will pass along well-known national landmarks, cities, and countryside, stopping at churches and holy sites and continuing into the public square. Each path given a fitting name. The Marian route, starting in the north, will pass through a place where an apparition of Mary was seen.
It's going to come through here. This is one of the main stops.
Our Lady of Champion National Shrine outside Green Bay, Wisconsin, is the site of the only church-approved Marian apparition in the U.S. Reminding pilgrims who take this route, Bishop David Ricken of the Diocese of Green Bay says Mary leads to Jesus.
Mary, Mother of the Eucharist, is right here in our midst. The closer you get to Mary, the closer you're going to get to Jesus, and especially his presence in the Eucharist.
The other 3 routes are named after Catholic saints and have significant stops. Along the eastern route, after leaving from New Haven, Connecticut, where Blessed Michael McGivney founded the Knights of Columbus, a later stop in Emmitsburg, Maryland.
It's a really special place for this route.
It's the national shrine to the first American-born saint, and this route is named after St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, who founded a community of religious women here and laid the foundation for Catholic education in the U.S. Becca Corbell, Associate Director of Programs at the shrine, says pilgrims will be able to adore Christ in the Eucharist and visit the tomb of Seton, a saint who converted to Catholicism inspired by the Eucharist.
And ends up converting and just meeting the Catholic Church for the first time, realizing that Catholics believe that you can receive Christ and have just that really intimate physical closeness. Like, she couldn't turn back from that once she knew that that was available to her.
From here, a Eucharistic procession will continue out in the public streets. After leaving the Seton Shrine, the Blessed Sacrament will process right through the center of town here in Emmitsburg, Maryland, fittingly passing through on Seton Avenue. And down south, the St. Juan Diego route, inspired by the man who Mary, the Virgin of Guadalupe, appeared to in Mexico, will include a stop in Corpus Christi, a U.S. city named for the body of Christ.
There is a big devotion to the Eucharist, and adoration seems to be very important here.
Janet Jones is the communications director for the Diocese of Victoria in Texas, where the Southern pilgrimage will continue by a unique historical landmark.
And we're the only diocese that owns one, a Spanish fort from the 1700s. It's Presidio La Bahia, and there's a chapel, Our Lady of Loreto, there. It's very old.
Out west, the longest pilgrimage route will wind its way from California to Indianapolis.
From San Francisco through the western states, through Missouri, and then up into Illinois.
Bishop Thomas Paprocki in the Diocese of Springfield, Illinois, will take part in a procession on the tail end of this route. It's named after St. Junipero Serra, a Spanish priest who established missions in California, helping bring Christianity to America.
So in a sense, it's kind of neat to see that Christianity was planted in California, and now that faith is being brought back east to a National Eucharistic Congress.
And when the Blessed Sacrament reaches certain shores on the western route,
actually heading out from across Lake Tahoe on boat and up the Sacramento River before that by boat.
On all the pilgrimage routes, when procession isn't possible, the Eucharist will remain inside a mobile tabernacle, traveling in a support vehicle. Every night, the Blessed Sacrament will repose in a parish church or chapel along the way. Each route will include a small group of 8 perpetual pilgrims, young adults who have been selected and assigned to travel throughout the entire 2 months. But the goal is to attract more and more people.
The goal for the public is anybody and everybody, and we wanted to make it as accessible as possible.
Bishop Paprocki has seen the impact Eucharistic processions can have.
You just see cars going by and people looking at like, whoa, what's this all about, and maybe makes them stop and think.
He hopes this nationwide Eucharistic pilgrimage will guide others to God.
We have these processions and public displays of the Eucharist because it's a witness to our faith.
Mark Irons, EWTN News in Depth.